Bitch. Hey guys, that one kid in middle school that had a hot sister, but you didn't know that much about girls, so you were weirdly attracted to her, but you didn't know why, but your parents catch you staring at her and then embarrass you about liking girls, so you start liking dudes. Here with another video, and today you wanted it and you're getting it. You guys are always asking for advanced next level card magic. You don't want any of that easy peasy self-working beezy. You want tricks that require like 1,000 Elmsleys. You got some advanced displays. I don't want to see this on Instagram until you've made babies with this trick. That's what I want to see. I want to see you guys get away from society, isolate yourselves more from the rest of normal civil society, and get nasty with this trick to the point where the government needs to step in. I want you and this trick to become so intertwined that at some point you start questioning whether or not we actually live in a real society or we're just a construct. So today we're going to be using the tiger cards, the tiger from King's Wild Project, the King's Wild Tigers. That's what we're going to be using today, only because they were the closest deck to me, and honestly, I don't want to go far. I don't want to go far. The other day I saw a cockroach and I had to hobble my way up to Home Depot and come back with the cockroach killer. Let me tell you, my friends, you don't know struggle until you have to hobble back and forth from Home Depot. That or you live in Africa or whatever. Hey, speaking of Africa, the Pigcake Card Academy, $5 a month. What? Over 130 videos already covering all aspects of card and coin magic, taking you from a beginner all the way to an expert. Oh, you're already an expert? How about you freshen up, huh? How about you get some of that secret deodorant and you freshen up on the fundamentals taught by your boy Piggy. You get 2 new videos a week. People tend to ask me, Piggy, if I start now, do I get access to all the old library of videos? Yes, you do. I'm not some sort of weird video service that denies you the library of greats. So $5 a month, which is pocket change. What? I could find $5 a month right now just rummaging through the change in this dirty couch that I haven't cleaned. So check it out today, support your boy Piggy, and get some hot exclusive magic and stuff. Oh boy, man, what a bargain. Yeah, you guys like that man spread? You guys like that? So this is one of those tricks that you could do from a borrowed shuffle deck situation. You don't need to have the deck in any particular order. You do need a deck though. You don't need a book of matches. That's fine though. We could just slap the deck into existence and we have a deck, not in fact a book of matches. Okay, that's cool. So for this trick, we're actually going to need a certain standard subset segregate of cards. In this case, the kings. We're going to be using the kings for this particular trick. We don't need any other disgusting cards. People tend to use like 5s and stuff or 10s. Ew, what are you, equal rights activists? No, we need the kings, and they happen to be here. I want you to notice we don't have any other kings in this deck. This isn't one of those decks that has multiple kings or whatever. These are just the ones that we're going to be using for this particular trick, because I'm going to demonstrate to you guys a little bit of a practice sleight, a little bit of a gambling practice sleight that these cheaters, these backroom cheaters, these back page 8th Street Latina cheaters use to try to command control over a card table. Of course, what kind of a 4-king trick starts without me not showing you guys the kings, right? Here they are, all in one. They're no, they're there. They're there. Trust me. So for this, what's actually going to happen is that we're going to take the kings and turn them over one by one. But I'm going to do it in a way so you don't see me do it. Here's the first one. So in adjusting my posture, I don't know if you noticed, but I managed to already turn one king face down. You see that? That king is facing down, sir, ma'am. I'm gonna do it again because it seems like you were paying too much attention to the sack that's floating in the air as opposed to my magic. So here, we'll do it one more time. We'll use the reach over distraction. See that? That's enough to turn 2 kings face down. See, now we have 2 kings face down as opposed to that 1. We'll do the last one, or rather we'll do the third one in a little bit of a flourishy way. You see that? We'll do the Tudor spin, and you notice now we have 3 kings face down. What? 3 kings face down? It's almost like this is real magic. The last one needs the most distraction, so I'm gonna need to scratch both sides right here. You see that? And now you see all the kings have turned face down. But here's the actual secret. Here's the secret of the magic turning over king trick. They don't actually turn over. I switched them for cards that don't have any faces. You see that? These cards don't happen to have any faces whatsoever. But I'll tell you what, we could actually make the faces appear with a little bit of prestidigitation, sir, ma'am. Here we go. We just rub the card, you see, in a very PG fashion, and we actually get, that's right, we get a king back. We get a king back. But here's the interesting part. What if I don't want kings? What if I want, I don't know, the aces? Oh boy, where did they come from? Do we have the aces here? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And then that's the trick. That's the trick. We'll just get the aces, and the spectator goes home happier than a small pumpkin patch. But I know what some spectators might say. Some spectators might say, hey, but you promised that this was going to be a king trick, sir, not an ace trick. You said, hey, I'm going to show you with this deck a king trick. So I'll tell you what, whichever ace you touch is going to turn into a king. Go ahead and touch whichever ace you want. Oh, this one? Oh, that's cool. Let me just rub it on that same area, and you notice it turned into a king, sir. They're all kings. See, that's how I did it. They all change back into kings. Oh boy. And the deck's gone. Shut up. The deck's gone. And now it's back. It's back. I see you there with your questioning eyes, wondering how I did that trick. Well, it's very complicated. It's a very complicated series of steps. And a lot of people ask me, hey, Pigcake, how do I memorize this elaborate sequence and do it so I could perform it for people? You practice. All right, bitch, you practice. Stop trying to find shortcuts and practice. Get some love for your craft. All right, here's a trick, guys. You could do this from a borrowed shuffle deck. Whatever marketing ploy is on the streets these days. Shuffle deck in use, organic deck. You could use anything you want, but you don't require a setup for this trick. Why? Because you're gonna cull. You're gonna do our favorite friend, the spread cull, to cull the cards that you need as you look for, in this case, the kings. So I'm gonna be culling the aces as I'm going through the deck looking for the kings. That's pretty much how you get to the point where you're able to set up. Oh, you don't know the spread cull? Well, luckily for you, I have a video on YouTube that teaches you the spread cull. Oh, that video isn't sufficient enough for you to learn the spread cull? Well, why don't you just join the Pigcake Card Academy and not only learn the spread cull, but learn every single move that there ever has been with card magic. That's not true, but learn every good move that I consider to be good with card magic. Go ahead, check it out. Link is in the description section of youtube.com/whatever this video code is. So we're gonna be going through the deck, and we're gonna be out jogging the kings at the same time. Whenever we come to an ace, in this case, the first one, we're gonna cull this puppy right to the back. You see that? That's the secret. Oh, we come to another ace, that ace gets culled. Oh, one more ace, that ace gets culled. One last ace, guess what? That ace is getting culled in the back right here. So right now those aces are riding their way to the top of the deck, just like I'm riding my way to the top of YouTube. So outjog all the kings as you come to them, and at the same time spread cull the aces all the way to the back. So now the situation is as follows. You're gonna have the kings in your hand, right? Try not to display them too much, because in a moment you're going to display them this way. So you don't want to be like, oh, here I have the 4 kings. This is not going to make sense. It's going to be redundant. But you have the 4 kings here, and then you have the 4 aces on top of the deck. That's it. That's the next little bit. So you're going to need to get a break underneath the 4th ace from the top of the deck. And you could do this with the pinky count. You see that? The hot pinky count technique. To get a break underneath all those 4 aces. You're doing this as you are pattering to the spectator, telling them, I'm going to show you a move that they do in the back room of of the places where you pay money and they sit in your lap funny. So I'm gonna show you the little things they do for that, and you get your break while you're doing that. So you're gonna square up the kings, and you're gonna lift everything up. So you're gonna lift 8 cards as opposed to the 4. But here's a little bit of a thing you need to do. With your little ring finger, you're gonna pull down on this card slightly because you're gonna need a thumb break. You're gonna need a thumb break. So as you lift everything up, you're gonna pull down with your ring finger. I'm pulling down with my ring finger and establishing a thumb break below the bottom ace. The reason for that is because you're gonna use that ace as a cover in a little bit of a display in a moment here. So now you're in a situation where you're holding 8 cards as 4 and you have a thumb break. Now notice I'm putting pressure with my forefinger so you don't see the fact that, hey, there's a little bit of a gap there. Hey, Pigcake, why is there a gap between that? You don't want the spectators to say that. So here what's gonna happen is that you're gonna bring this half on top of the deck and use your left thumb to slide that king on top. The reason you're doing it that way is because when you actually do the move that you're gonna do in a little bit, you wanna make sure that it looks the same. So you're gonna do the same with the next king. You're gonna slide it on top of the deck, and here's where you do the move. The move is you're just going to deposit that card. So that card that you have a break, you're gonna leave it on top of the deck at the same time that you grab this last king or this third king and place it underneath the packet just like that. So now supposedly the illusion is that you have all kings in your hand. However, you have this situation right here. King, face down ace, face down ace, face down ace, king. That's it. And then on top of the deck, you have ace face down, followed by 2 kings face up. So one more time for those of you guys from Puerto Rico, that Lord knows you need as much differentiated instruction as possible, because Lord knows that you're there putting on your deodorant like this, like that, or you're tying your shoe like this. You put this foot up and then you're tying this one, or you think a TV is a microwave or something. I've seen a bunch of those jokes. Hit the like button if you guys like those jokes. So here, one more time, king, king, deposit, king, underneath, and then there you go. You're gonna put this deck face down to your left, and that's it for the deck until the last phase. So now you're left in this little fun position here. You're gonna take the bottom card and turn this, bitch. You're gonna take the bottommost king, take it and turn it face down on top as you tell the spectator that you're gonna do a secret move here where the cards are gonna turn over, but you're not gonna be able to see it, and you're gonna try to distract them. So here we go. Here's the first one. And then that's what you do here. You're gonna do an Elmsley count, which, by the way, I do teach also in the academy, so you might want to check that puppy out. I feel like this trick is just one long shill for the Pigcake Card Academy. No, it's not. It's not. But it could be. It could be. So here you're going to do an Elmsley count to show 1 face down king. So you're going to take the top card off. You're going to push all these cards, these 3 cards, as 1. So you're going to take this king. You're going to push off these 3 cards as 1. Next, you're going to take all these 3 cards into the left hand at the same time that you're stealing that king back underneath. You see the heat, the heatness of this? So you're taking this, you're pushing all these cards as 1. This king is going underneath and being taken at the same time that you take all these cards as 1 into the left hand. Next, you're gonna take off this one, out jog it, just to show that it's a face down king, and then finally take the last king and put it face up. So all in all, you've just done 1 Elmsley count to show the fact that there is a face down card in the middle of the little packet here. Next, you're gonna square that up, do another little bit of a distraction move. And next time you do an Elmsley count, there's actually gonna be 2 cards that show. So the next Elmsley count, there's gonna be 2 face down cards that show. But here, instead of bringing this bottom card to the top, when you do the Elmsley count, it's gonna have to go on the bottom. That's the only thing you're gonna have to remember. So far you've done 2 Elmsley counts. You've shown the fact that there's 1 face down card, squared it up, and then shown now that there's 2 face down cards. But this last king needs to go on the bottom of the packet. So here you do one more little bit of a distractor, whatever that is, and you do another Elmsley count. And this time there's going to be 3 kings, obviously out jogging the one that's face up, because I'm going to need to take that king and actually place it second from the bottom of the deck. The way I do that is that I just take this king out, And then instead of placing it on the bottom, I'm gonna do a little bit of a buckle here. Notice that by putting pressure on the upper right corner of the deck, that's gonna bow this card out enough for me to put that king inside and just score it up. So you do one more last distractor move. You could, scratch both sides. And guess what? You're showing them with one last Elmsley count that all the kings have turned face down. What a lovely little sequence. They're all the same. Everything's copacetic. You've counted the cards the same, and yet the kings somehow have turned face down. So of course, now at this point, you tell the spectator, no. The kings haven't turned face down. It's that they've lost their faces. And here you're gonna do Brother John Hammond's frustration count. I'm frustrated from mispronouncing the frustration count. So what you're gonna do here, you're gonna show the bottom card, take the top card in the left hand. Show the bottom card, take the top card in your left hand. That's the move. But when it comes to this second one here, you're gonna need to do a little bit of a different thing, because if you notice, if you take that last one, they're gonna see a king and they're gonna laugh at you. So you're gonna take this bottom card, and instead of taking the top card, you're gonna take the bottom card and put it on top of the deck. Now, you could just take this card like this and place it in a position ready to do the paintbrush change. So this last one, you're just gonna place it in jaw towards yourself. This is a double, and you're gonna execute the paintbrush change, which is a very easy change to do. All you're gonna do is push down on these two cards and pull back on the top single card. I don't understand why people make it more complicated than it needs to be. You just push in two, pull back one, all right? It's like the foreskin. It's like your frenulum. So you're gonna take this card, which is gonna be an ace, and you're gonna take it and place it underneath the king. Now here's what's happening as I do that. I'm getting a break underneath the ace. You know why? Because I'm about to do a little nice color change here. I'm gonna do Paul Harris's flip, flop, plop color change. So this is a very simple thing. It looks like that. And you notice that in that action, it just looks like all the cards morph into aces. So all you're doing is you're taking these two cards, the king and the ace underneath, to the side. You're gonna drop all these cards on top of the king, and then you're gonna plop that whole situation back onto the hand. So if you do it at speed, it just looks like the kings disappear and turn into aces. Oh boy, you guys are getting the good stuff here, man. You guys are getting the good stuff. So you're gonna take this one more time, drop all the packet on top, and then flop that thing back. So now when you turn over this packet and you do an Elmsley count, it's gonna look like all those kings turned into aces. You could take this last card and show it. Now I do a little bit of a display here where I take these two cards in the hand, and when I turn everything face down, I'm gonna use my thumb to push off that card over here. That gives the illusion that you're showing all four cards, but really you're hiding these. So that's just like that. So at speed, the move looks like this. You've just turned all those kings into aces, and you've shown them front and back. So that supposedly is the end of the trick to them. You give a nice little bit of a relaxation point, and you go, yeah, the aces, oh boy. So you're gonna pick up the deck, and then in that offbeat, here's what you're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to pick up the deck in biddle grip with the deck face up. And here is where you do a little bit of a sneaky action here. You're gonna pull down with your thumb on this ace. At the same time, you're gonna bring that ace on top of that packet and turn all of these cards on the deck. So you are pulling down on this ace, getting a break underneath it, depositing that on top of that packet of cards, turning that face down and putting it on the bottom of the deck. Again, this is done on the offbeat. So at speed, the move just looks like this. It's nothing that you're scrutinizing. It's just at speed, you're doing that. That's it. That's all you're doing. So now you have the four aces on top of the deck, followed by the kings underneath. But guess what? You're gonna need to get a break underneath the eighth card from the top of the deck. Are you gonna have to do a pinky count? No, dog. That's not how we roll here in the street. So just by placing your thumb, you're gonna notice that you're gonna be able to lift up on those two cards that are back to back just by letting those cards fall naturally into the hand. So now at this point, you could just square this up and establish a break underneath those 8 cards. Show one ace, show another ace, show last ace, finally pick up all these cards. So you're picking up these 8 cards like this, turning it face down and spreading, telling the spectator that you're gonna make sure that they're happy because you're gonna turn whichever ace they want into a king. Of course, all of them are kings. So at this point, you could play around with them, say, oh, see, I turned that one into king. Go ahead, try it again. Oh, that one turned into a king as well. Oh, that one, how about that one? Look, I'll rub this one for no reason, and now it's a king. And then you end up in the same exact way that you did in the beginning of the trick. It was just 4 kings. Oh boy, man, that was a hard one. That was a really advanced card trick. That was more advanced than dead people, than old people. Same thing. They're gonna die soon anyways. But that's a little bit of a heated variation of an old Marlowe trick where the cards turn face down, then they change, and then they change back. It's kind of a fun one. A lot of magicians have different ways of doing it. That's just, you know, my simplified way of doing it without too much complications. See the works of Ed Marlowe, of Bill Malone, of John Gustafaro. You could see the works of Darwin Ortiz, and they'll have similar routines to that. How far can I man spread? Look at that. Your boy's flexible, man. Your boy's flexible. Hey guys, thank you guys for watching that video. If you guys like this, make sure to do all the things that people do when it comes to videos. They like stuff, they subscribe. I really hate to have to ask, but it seems like in order to gain any sort of success on YouTube, you got to trick the algorithm. Am I right? Am I right, home dogs? Bloods, Crips? Unity. I'm gonna go figure out different ways to drink old espresso and not get excessive diarrhea. That's what I'm gonna do. You again, when I see you again, when I see you again, when I see you again. When I see you again, when I see you again, when I see you again.